Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today we're going to do a little bit of maintenance to the Reate Knives Crossroads by Kirby Lambert. Beautiful knife. There's lots of parts involved in this guy, and let's see if we can perfect the action a little bit. So basically what you're going to need are going to be like one T15, another T15 Torx bit, T6 and a T8, and just like a couple drivers right over here, some lube and blue Loctite. Okay, so let's get started. So let's start by taking out the scale right over here with a T8. Okay, so you're just gonna start from the presentation side, just removing one and two. Just be careful because these are anodized titanium screws, so you don't want them to get scratched in any ways. And one scale is out. Then you're gonna need to switch the bit to a T15 right over here and another T15 right over here because the pivot is spinning. So you want to make sure that you have one each side. Just hold the knife like that and start unscrewing on one side. So usually one bit is gonna be together with the bushing pivot. Sometimes you're gonna have the pivot collar coming off. This side doesn't want to come off. Not a big deal. You just keep the knife like that, and actually you're gonna notice that the blade is off center, so don't just flip it open because you're gonna risk to scratch. So just pull it a little bit in the center and hold it like that. Okay, so don't worry if it's like this. You're just gonna change the bit and get the T6 in right over here to unscrew this one and this other one right over here, and then make sure these are like fully unscrewed, of course. 1 and 2, and you have the topping. Just wiggle a little bit, just gently, and boom, you're done. So blade is out. You have bearings 1, 2, and then you have screw 1 and 2, and then you have 1, 2, where is it, 3, 4 washers and back spacer right over there. All right, and you're basically done. Now I like to use some of these alcohol swabs just to clean it up a little bit, like this way, like that. These are like sterile alcohol, so it's gonna just do a nice and thorough cleaning of the grease or the gunk that is that has built up in the blade. This is pretty clean, but it's nice to have it thoroughly cleaned up. All right, beautiful. Also do the same operation with the bearings, like such. So just gently rub the bearings. These, by the way, are ceramic bearings in a plastic cage. Very, very smooth action. All right, guys, so next up, I like to start from this the presentation scale. Okay, so you just place these two screws back in like this. Just flip it over. All right, and then you've got the two washers in, 1 and 2, and then you have the back spacer. Make sure it's oriented in the correct position like that, and then you can do the lanyard pin right over here, stop pin right over here, and you can have in this case just grab the pivot screw like that and just place it like this. Make sure that the pivot collar is in place, and then you add the two washers like that. Okay, now nano oil. I like to use 10 weight oil, just a little bit, not too much, just like that around the hardened stainless steel washers for the bearing, which is gonna go right up like that. And then you can do just a little bit like here. All right, and then bam, blade is in. And then you just do a little bit also on this side like that. And next bearing is in. Cool. Next up, we are gonna need the scale. Make sure that everything is aligned like that. All right, and then just keeping it this like in this position, so the washer stays there. You just align the end with the stop with the lanyard pin to this one, and you just press it in like that. Okay, so now don't forget the pivot collar. If you want to just clean it up also on the inside a little bit, you can do something like that. Very good. And then just put the pivot screw in. We don't need to just tighten it up all the way down. Okay, so now we just want it to be in place like that, so you know we don't have the knife falling apart. And then make sure you turn it over like this and check that the washers are aligned for the floating backspacer. Keep this down. Use your T6 to just tighten this a little bit more. All right, then what I like to do is just to make sure that everything is in place, everything is working, and I'm just gonna tighten these two guys a little bit more like that. Not too much, because these are quite thin. All right, and then I'm just gonna keep this, while I keep this open, I'm just gonna actually open it like that and have 1 and 2, and then just keep it like semi-open like this, or even open, it's fine. We're gonna tune it later, so just like this is good, not too much. All right, then we're gonna put the scale back on like this with a T8, which is this one. We don't need the lube anymore, so you just keep them in the same position. So if this was on the left side of the table of the mat, it means it's gonna go on the left side of the scale. So these are in. All right, and then we're gonna do this. So this is loose. All right, so we're gonna use a little bit of blue Loctite on this side. The one actually not on this side. We're gonna use it on this side. All right, so just push on the right side or on the side that has the bushing pivot stuck. Okay, and then just clean this like this. All right, and then just use your blue Loctite like that, just a little, not too much. Okay, just remove the excess, and this is in. All right, and this is gonna be going beautifully in like so. All right, so this is, see, a little bit too tight. Okay, you check for blade play, nothing. So I think we can just clean it a little bit like that if there's any excess, and we're gonna just untighten just a little bit like that and see if it's our liking. You see, I want it a little bit more drop shotty, so I'm just gonna untighten just a tad. Let's see. All right, guys, look at this. What do you think? I think this is how you perfect the already pretty good action of the Reate Knives Crossroads, designed by Kirby Lambert. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.